All right, I think we are on the air. Yes, we are on the air. We are
Woohoo!
back. I am
We're
out
back,
of
baby.
YouTube jail. It was not a short sentence, but it was a painful one. But I am back. I am out of YouTube jail. I am joined, as always, by my co-hosts Aaron Simmons and Zachary Brandevold. Zach is busy getting ready for a wedding this weekend, and not just any wedding, his wedding. His first.
It's Haley's wedding.
Oh, okay. I was going to say his first of 3 or 4 he will go through in his lifetime.
Oh my gosh, I hope not. I hope not.
Start off show with that banger, Tom. Way to go.
Oh my gosh.
Alrighty.
Oh, so let's see how. Well, Zach looks a little disheveled. So let's start with you, Aaron. How are you this evening, Aaron?
I'm doing well today. Doing well. Got a day off today, which I desperately needed from work. But new opportunities are on the horizon. I do have a job interview tomorrow. Hopefully for a little bit easier job on my body, and as well as a higher paying job. So hopefully I can actually, afford to put gas in my car and still be able to go to work and save up money. So hopefully it goes well.
Hey, more money, less work. You can't complain about that. That's what we're all after.
Can't complain. And plus, according to what the application said, it said Monday to Friday. So I may have weekends off.
Ooh.
Yeah. First time season, I can actually watch a race.
Fantastic.
So just start relying on highlights.
Fantastic. Ask if they're hiring 50-year-old men from West Virginia too, because I may come join you. Zach,
or
how are you this
newlyweds.
evening?
Newlyweds too. Let me know.
Zach, how are you? And more importantly, how is the planning for Haley's wedding coming?
It's going. If we had forgotten anything by now, it's pretty much too late to figure it out. But overall, it's not bad at all. We're getting things sorted. We have family coming in not tomorrow, Thursday. And a bunch of them are going to see our house for the first time, and apparently they're going to get me extremely drunk. So luckily it's not the day before the wedding, so like
you
they
won't
did
be hungover at the wedding.
Apparently that's what they did with one of Haley's cousins, so I'm not getting that same treatment, thank God. But we're doing good, and excited to finally make this happen.
Congratulations to you.
Absolutely, man.
Thank you, guys.
And best of luck to you, and hope it goes well.
Yeah, congratulations to you.
Also,
Haley may want to rethink her choice, but congratulations to you.
Look, I have said, "Are you sure?" so many times, and every single time it's like slightly getting towards a no. So.
Anyway.
Yeah. Well, it's better to find out now than with the rings on her finger.
It might.
Amen to that one.
Hopefully, it's not at the altar. That would be embarrassing.
Yeah, that would be. No, I'm sure. Just remember, at the end of the day, you two are going to be husband and wife. So whatever glitches happen, whatever you forgot, whatever didn't go according to plan, remember, big picture. At the end of the day, you're going to be husband and wife, and that's what's really important.
Yeah, I mean, you know what? Forget, if you forget the flowers, if you forget like a chair or two, hey, you two got each other, and that's the most important thing.
Amen.
It's your day, it's you guys' day. Family be damned at that point. It's your day to celebrate.
Amen.
So speaking of days to celebrate, the Truck Series had a day to celebrate. They got to be the first ones on the track at the new Atlanta.
Yeah, at Atlanta Super Speedway. How about that?
Atlanta Super Speedway. And, since I get to go first in the truck race, I gotta tell you, it was plate racing at a 1.5-mile track. Okay, let's just call it what it is. That's what it was. I think the guys that were covering the race tried to do a tremendous job of hyping it up and talking about what a great race it was. From what I've seen on social media, the reaction is split. If you like plate racing, you love the Atlanta race. If you don't like plate racing, well, you didn't like the Atlanta race, because that's what it was. But they were the first ones on the track, and I think they kind of showed us what the weekend was going to be like. just to cover some of the big things, it looked to me like the top line for the most part was the place to be. To back up my point about plate racing, 20 laps in, the top 15 were within 2 seconds of each other. The one move I did not understand from a strategy, because it seems like there wasn't a lot of tire wear. You had a lot of options as far as 2 tires, no tires. Stuart Friesen leads every lap of stage 1, okay? And then near the end of stage 2, he pits thinking that I'll pit now and then I'll stay out at the end of the stage break. He was the only one who did it. He was the only one. So that means that he got to restart up front, being the only guy on old tires. It just didn't make a lot of sense to me. Chandler Smith, though, this is the big story, and it comes down to the end. Okay, Chandler Smith gets absolutely no love from his Kyle Busch teammates. Twice he is pushing Corey Heim. He pushes Corey Heim to the front on the bottom. Heim immediately jumps to the top and bails out on him. Twice Corey Heim did this, okay? So Chandler Smith gets no love. Then we come to the end of the race. Chandler Smith has worked his way into the lead. Corey Heim's behind him. The third Kyle Busch truck, John Hunter Nemechek, is 2 laps down, but is third in line. Predictably, Corey Heim makes a move to go for the lead. Guess who goes with him? John Hunter Nemechek. Chandler Smith is left hung out to dry by a teammate again. He's got to feel like the loneliest man at Kyle Busch Motorsports. It did work out for Corey Heim. He did get his win. First win in only his 5th start. Georgia native, 19-year-old. If you ignore the fact that how Chandler Smith got left out of everything related to Kyle Busch, he was like, he may not even get invited to the Christmas party at this point. I don't know. But if you leave that part out of it, it was a great story. 19-year-old native Georgian, 5th ever start, and he grabs a win. Kyle Busch ran strong. About their only competition, it seemed like, was Thor Motorsports. But that was the big stories from the truck race. Want to take a minute to welcome Mike Hora and welcome Adam Lauer. And if anybody, since this is kind of our core guys here, we got Dylan, we got Mike, we got Adam, I want to say we tried to do a YouTube watch party and got busted for copyright. And I got put in YouTube jail. So that's why we had no show last week. Couldn't do a live broadcast. But at any rate, we are back now. That is the truck race. Anybody got any thoughts they want to add on this before we move on to the other races of the weekend?
Not from me. I mean, the only thing I can really think of was how the announcers were. I can't remember if this was from Chandler Smith or from the other, or from the other one, but how their Georgia town was like so damn small, you could fit it inside of Atlanta, and that's the only thing they could say about that town, just how freaking small it was.
Yeah.
I'm like, I mean, come on, guys, come on, like, find something else to talk about besides just how freaking small it is.
Yeah. Good.
Yeah,
Zach, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah,
Zach.
I thought it was an interesting race. I didn't get to watch too much of it. I thought it was unfortunate the way Matty D ended up wrecking out there. It's a new track. I personally, I didn't think it was all that exciting. I don't know. The Truck Series race seemed kind of like you were 2x2 or follow the leader for most of the race, and you really could only make moves. But anyway, I don't know. It was interesting. Definitely, I feel like there was definitely a difference watching that between the other series. The racing involved in each 3 series. I think it was definitely noticeably different between the Truck Series, Xfinity, and Cup. But
it didn't seem like was it just me, or it didn't seem like the bottom line worked as well for the trucks as it did the other 2 series. It seemed like you had a lot more one-lane racing, and everybody needed to be up high.
Yeah,
I don't think the bottom line worked at all in Atlanta.
Yeah,
I mean, it may have worked a little bit better in Cup, but besides that, it never really worked.
Cup was noticeably better, but Xfinity, you could definitely hang with the top, but you could never get ahead. I mean, and I guess that's something to be said about a plate race, but still, I don't know, something left me weird feeling about the new Atlanta, definitely. But that's just my 2 thoughts on it.
All right. So Adam Lauer saying he's glad I paid my debt to society. Yeah.
I mean, hey, apparently Fox needs all the butts they can get watching the TV and watching that race, because we'll go into that here in just a second. But yeah,
Well,
apparently they need that 17 people really badly.
The interesting thing was the 17 people got to see all the Fox commercials because we were literally streaming the whole thing. So they still got to see the Fox commercials. But anyway, we broke the rules and we got caught. Or I shouldn't say we, it was me. But anyway, let's move on to the Xfinity race. Is that one you, Zach, or is that one you, Aaron?
No, that's me.
Okay.
And
Take it
meanwhile,
over, Zach.
I have my entire family in the here. So
do you want us to go out of order?
Well, tell them to get on YouTube and watch.
Yeah, tell them to get out of the room and get on YouTube and watch us. Come on,
get on YouTube and watch it. Anyway, excuse for the noise, but Xfinity Series race was actually pretty exciting. We had not one but 2 overtimes in the Xfinity Series race. So Ty Gibbs ended up getting a huge run on that last overtime, and ended up winning by quite a considerable margin for the plate style racetrack, over almost 0.2 of a second over Austin Hill. But that wasn't even the most exciting part. So we really didn't see a lot of action in stage 1 at all. Noah Gragson led about almost every single lap, and then come to the final final lap, his teammate Josh Berry, the 8, gets a good run on the bottom and comes up and wins stage 1 by leading only 1 lap, which was pretty awesome to see Josh Berry do pretty well there. And then in stage 2, excuse me, in stage 2, hold on one second. I believe Noah Gragson also led a bunch, and we didn't have our first caution until stage 2, which ended up being Joey Graff in the 07, running actually pretty well. Kind of got turned there and ended up in the wall. Caused our first caution, and that really caused a chain reaction. It was very interesting to see some of these wrecks because I think they were a little bit different than what you would see at a typical plate racetrack, just because Atlanta, I think, acts a little bit different compared to normal plate racetracks. But anyway, they get back going, and we see a bunch more wrecks. Some of the some of the I'm blanking on the team
Junior
name.
Motorsports.
Excuse me. Junior Motorsports was also a big one. All 3 of their cars got taken out in stage 3, all in the same wreck as well, which that was pretty disappointing because all 3 of them seemed to have pretty good speed. Obviously, Noah Gragson led a whole bunch of laps, and obviously Josh Berry won a stage. Justin Allgaier was up there as usual on plate race tracks, but they all get taken out in a pretty big wreck. And that, like I said, that one caution pretty much started a chain reaction towards the end there. They really didn't get a lot of green flag laps in towards the end, but they did have 2 overtime finishes. Actually, Ryan Sieg was leading at the final overtime caution with the 21 of Austin Hill on the other side of him. And he got a huge lead with 2 to go and got too big of a run. He was out maybe a car length or 2 and ended the 54 on the high side ended up sucking back into him and cutting him below him, and ended up taking the lead by considerable margin towards the end there. And that Ryan Sieg fell pretty far back there without any help. So people who thought that we would see Ryan Sieg's comeback win, he fell kind of short, unfortunately. Remember, he had some scuffles actually with Ty Gibbs earlier in the season, and he ended up being the one that was pushing him, Ty Gibbs, to the lead there at the overtime finish, and ended up pulling it over under on him and eventually the other guy got the win. So fell short again to Ty Gibbs, but overall pretty good race. Trevor Bayne, who led 38 laps, ended up trying to slide up in front of Allmendinger in the final stage there, and came back down and caused a huge chain reaction. That was the wreck that I mentioned. All Junior Motorsports cars were involved. So yeah, it was a pretty interesting race. What do you guys have about this one?
I'll tell you what. Go ahead, Aaron.
No, Tom, after you. You were first.
There is aggressive. There is, holy shit, I can't believe he did that. And then there is Ty Gibbs. Okay. To me, when he made that move for the lead, was it me or is he clear by about that far? I mean, it looked incredibly close to me. I've got to believe he was doing that based on where he saw cars and where he knew me. I can't believe the spotter actually called him clear to make that move. I mean, I know the guy is talented, but his aggressiveness, holy cow. I mean, that was tight. If I wasn't afraid to get another copyright claim, I'd share the replay. But you guys really ought to look up that final move by Ty Gibbs. I mean, it's like I said, there's aggressive, there's holy shit, and then there's Ty Gibbs.
Yeah. Like you said, I don't even know if he was clear. I mean, I'm watching it now. He was clear, but there was not enough time for a spotter to even say that. He just dove for it. And when you're going for the win like that, at some point, maybe you don't. Maybe you just go for it. But yeah, like you said, he's been pretty aggressive this season, especially when you look back at the Ryan Sieg incident last couple races, a few races ago.
So, Aaron, what do you have to say about it?
I mean, yeah, you can call Ty Gibbs aggressive. You can call him just an absolute daredevil of a driver. But those are the kind of moves you've got to make in order to win races. And we, the fans, may not like them. I mean, other competitors may not like them, but sometimes that's what you got to do. And, Ty Gibbs is young and brash and maybe even stupid enough to try some of those moves and see if they work. And I guess in that instance it did. But again, he's young and reckless. I mean, he's like, what, 19, 20? So, yeah, he's incredibly young, incredibly reckless, but, hey, I mean, if he's going for a win, you go for a win. There are no friends in the last lap.
Well, and Adam Lauer, you got your 11 Ty Gibbs. That's, to me, some of that aggressiveness is youth. They used to say, there are old drivers, there are bold drivers, but there are no old bold drivers. I'm not sure that an older driver makes that move just for fear of not just wrecking himself, but wrecking the whole field. But that's one of those things. You make it work. It's a highlight reel. You don't make it work, and the whole garage is mad at you. So, yeah. But he made it work.
Plus, I do want to say, this is Baines. I think third race into his 7-race deal with Gibbs. And each race, he looks like he had the car to win. Yeah. And so I think so far this is looking pretty good that Bain may be coming back into NASCAR full time.
Yeah.
So far, so good. And I really hope so, because that would be amazing for an Knoxvillian like me.
And Mike Cora, I couldn't agree more. He reminds me so much of a young Kyle Busch, just from the standpoint of the raw talent and the aggressiveness. He reminds me so much of a young Kyle Busch. So, all right, absolutely. The main event, though, the Cup race. Tell us about it, Aaron.
Oh, Lord. Where do I begin? All righty. So, again, every time I see Atlanta, I think of this very technical track. A track where it's like cheese graters for a racing surface. You got to take care of those tires. But then to see Atlanta as a super speedway, it was so weird to see going back kind of through the full race and the highlights. It's just weird to me right now to see a mile-and-a-half super speedway. But as the race went on, I kind of started to get used to it, and it looked fairly fun for the first stage. So we get to lap 24 where Gregson, he just took a lick to the outside wall, crushed that nose completely in. Car was total from the moment it touched the wall, but luckily he was okay. Lap 50 was a competition caution. And pit road is just as chaotic as the race surface apparently, because Eric Jones and Eric Almirola get together on pit road. And that's not the last time that they will see calamity. Ryan Blaney's pit road issues continue. He didn't get full of fuel, and the 6 has damage to the vents on the front. Not sure how that happened, but because Fox not showing anything. But then you see Ross Chastain for Trackhouse Racing. He was up there leading laps, looking very competitive until he blew a tire, and that is not something. And that's not the last time you'll ever hear that. Well, lap 100, 5 laps until the end stage, caution comes out again. Austin Dillon, Kyle Busch, and others just took it hardly to the outside wall off turn 4. Again, that's not something you're going to hear. Again, that's not something you're going to hear for the last time. Stage 2, not really a whole lot happening. Only 3 really main events happened. Reddick with another blown tire. That man cannot catch a break this season already. Another blown tire, costing him a potential win. Also slammed to the wall outside of just off of turn 4. He's done for the day. Stenhouse with a tire issue. He's going to collect Cindric, Harvick, and Eric Jones. And then Larson, he gets wrecked from second. All these drivers were up in we're up in the top 5, gone and out like that. So either the tires again need to be addressed here, because that is just more competitive cars gone. And hopefully NASCAR is going to address that. Hopefully by the end of the season, or maybe next season, because it's getting more and more bad publicity and bad history with those single lug nut tires and those 18-inch tires. But stage 3, again, nothing really much happening except just follow the leader, try and log off laps as you would normally see with super speedway racing these days. But 19 to go, Eric Almirola, his bad day kind of continues. Spun off of Ross Chastain, didn't really look intentional, just a racing incident. He did keep going, and he was still competitive. I believe he got top 10, if I'm correct in that, but I'm not sure. I'm not sure. I don't have the results in front of me. But Hendrick win number 3 for the season, this time with William Byron getting the win. Had to hold off a hard-charging Bubba and a hard-charging Ross Chastain to get it done. But as it seems to go with every super speedway race, you got a massive crash behind him with Bubba Wallace, Justin Haley, and Chris Buescher. Last week's winner, all involved in a wreck in the end, all got top 10s. So, hey, I mean, yeah, you wrecked the car. Yeah, you took very hard licks, but hey, at least got top 10 out of it. With Bubba even stating that was probably one of the hardest hits he has ever taken in his NASCAR career. But glad to see he's okay. But that was a Cup race, and I gotta say, not really a fan of it. Not really a fan of the Super Speedway Atlanta thing.
See, I'm not either, but I'm not a fan of plate racing, and I know that the guys on Fox were talking about it, did their best to make it sound like it was a great event. And if you like plate racing, you probably did love it, but I didn't. I just don't like plate racing. I'll take it at Daytona and Talladega, but I don't think that's what the foundation of the sport should be. Mm-hmm. And I feel like making a 1.5 mile super speedway is just moving us more towards trying to make plate racing something we do, every week of the year. And that's not what I like.
I mean, especially with how plate racing is going nowadays, where every plate race is turning into, let's just kind of log off laps here and kind of just get as many points as we can until the final 10 laps, in which we all take each other out anyway.
Yeah.
One, it's just way more boring for us fans to watch. B, all the cars are going to get junked anyway. And C, it's boring for us to watch. And to me, that's kind of what Atlanta was. I got so freaking bored watching the race.
Well, and it's not. You got guys that are fighting handling problems, and you got drivers putting the race in their hands. It's the 20th place car has just as much of a shot to win as the first place car, because you're in that pack and it's just making the moves. And whether I'm just not a fan of it. But aside from that, two things I want to say are, how about, I thought Ross Chastain's day was done. He blew a tire, hit the wall. He finished second. The one thing that I will say I think NASCAR is getting right is this next gen car, or whatever we're calling it,
Yeah.
is proving to be tougher than I thought it would be, and it is putting the things back into the driver's hands more, which I love. But yeah, I thought he was done. Second, and I want to hear what you guys think about this. This was the first time we've done this kind of racing, where it was plate style racing at a mile and a half. And I think there are things that the drivers are learning as they go through this. Tell me if you agree or disagree with this. When I saw the Kyle Busch Austin Dillon incident, where there was a wreck there, and it looked to me like Kyle had him pretty square. It looked like a big bump. Austin Dillon said he felt like he got turned. That looked so much like the Kyle Larson Denny Hamlin incident. Is this just a case of this is a new kind of racing, and they're going to have to figure out where they can bump people and where they can't, and whether there's a guy right below them to take the air off makes a difference, and how hard you can bump people in different parts? Is that just a lesson they're going to have to learn, that they're going to look back on this and say, oh yeah, you just can't hit somebody that spot of the track that hard? I just thought it looked like both of them looked very similar and had very similar outcomes.
Yeah. Well, Zach, what do you think?
No, I mean, I agree with you. I thought the same thing. I thought they were really similar in style, and ultimately ended up the same. But I don't know. Oh my gosh. But yeah, that's what I thought.
I mean, with it seems like with Daytona and Talladega, you can get away with that a lot more because the track is bigger, and that change in banking is more gradual. With Atlanta, it seems, with it being much shorter, it just drops off, and that's kind of where the drivers were hitting them, and that seems to get them loose, which makes a lot of sense to me.
Yeah, I think they're going to look back on it and think that's a lesson they learned about where you can and can't bump draft people on this type of track. So,
yeah.
Okay. All right. So something we didn't talk about. The penalty on Bell for going below the yellow line. I thought that was a legitimate call. I thought NASCAR got that right.
Yeah, I didn't see it, so
this is just another exhibit into why the WO line rule is stupid. I mean, I feel like for Atlanta, it kind of makes sense, especially with how short the track is and how narrow that racing groove is. That I can see where it kind of makes sense there. But especially at Daytona and Talladega, that rule is freaking stupid. They say it's to prevent crashes, but yet when you restrict the racing surface, you're turning all those cars back up again, and that's now leading more wrecks. It's not preventing them. In fact, it's probably just costing them. And hey, where's Bell supposed to go? He had nowhere to go besides down and possibly causing on the caution. So,
well, okay, and there may be both sides of this may be very legitimate, because I think based on the way NASCAR has the rule written, they made the right call, and B, he didn't have any place else to go. So that kind of, I think, illustrates your point to some degree, that if he doesn't go down there, maybe it's a big accident on the last lap.
Yeah.
So I think that there's truth in both statements. But anyway, we are almost a half hour in, and we haven't even got to the news stories yet. So we better pick up the pace a little bit. So Zach, take us through the news stories a little bit here.
Yeah. So a week after the driver of the hauler that was killed in the highway accident for Gilligan Racing, he scores the ARCA race win at Phoenix, an emotional win for Taylor Gray in the ARCA Menard Series West at Phoenix. Just an amazing win, amazing rally for these guys to be able to get that car all the way to the track. I mean, obviously they had to send Haley Deegan's hauler from North Carolina all the way to the track in Phoenix in a very short amount of time, and they ended up getting the win and honoring him. Just awesome for them and awesome for the team. But Yeah, what are you guys' thoughts on this, Aaron?
I think it's a fantastic story. I mean, especially when you, yeah. I mean, I thought it was a fantastic story. Especially for that family, it really does kind of help the healing process, knowing that even when he has passed, there were, the team never gave up. The team never surrendered, and they got a win despite all of this adversity and tragedy. And hopefully, this will help the healing process, go a lot smoother. So,
Yeah, great feel good story. Great feel good story, and I think it'll probably help the healing process go a long ways.
Yeah. All right. Well, Bubba Wallace is going to run 2 races for Joe Gibb Racing in the Xfinity Series. Actually, one was announced. He's going to run COTA this next week in the Xfinity Series, sponsored by Dr. Pepper. He's also going to run the Indy Road Course. Excuse me. Probably 2 tracks that didn't get a lot of track time on. Only 1 race last season, and definitely need it. What are your guys' thoughts on this, Tom?
I'll talk more about Bubba in the who's hot, who's not segment, but we keep seeing the same difference between he and Kurt Busch in the Cup Series. I'm afraid Xfinity might be his next career move, so this might be good experience for him.
yeah.
What about you, Aaron?
Yeah, I kind of agree with Tom. It seems like Kurt Busch is outshining him in similar equipment, but I mean, even though he has kind of shown up for the plate tracks, that's really about it. I mean, hopefully with these Xfinity runs, he's learning a lot more about the track and really how to run these kind of tracks, especially at COTA, which we've only been to at once. And so I feel like with these more laps and just more experience on the track, he'll be a little better for Sunday, but or maybe try and run for next year, because I seriously doubt unless Bubba is able to really get some in. His time with the 23XI is not going to be long.
Yeah, it was definitely an issue for him last season, especially the road courses. So I guess maybe getting some extra practice might help. We'll see, and we'll see how he runs in the Xfinity Series. It'll be interesting to see how he runs in top equipment. But moving right along, John Hunter Nemechek is set to run 3 Xfinity Series races with Joe Gibbs Racing. He has run a couple races with Sam Hunt Motorsports. That is also interesting. He runs a 26 there. He'll run 3 Xfinity Series races for Joe Gibbs. What are you guys' thoughts on this, Aaron?
Kind of like Bubba, I think this may be a tryout for next season potentially. I mean, even though John Hunter Nemechek is fully in the Truck Series, I mean, I think this may be kind of his chance to really kind of reprove his talents in the Xfinity Series and really kind of regain some momentum up on that ladder. Especially with Joe Gibbs. I mean, hell, Turbine has proved that Gibbs is here to play and he's not messing around. So hopefully with Johnny Nemechek behind the wheel, and hopefully he can replicate his performance from Phoenix, which he nearly won the thing. I think this may be a hot opportunity for him to get back to the Xfinity Series.
What about you, Tom?
I think this is a step in him working his way back up the NASCAR ladder. He went down to the Truck Series to try to prove that he could win races and that he could drive, and he's done that with Kyle Busch Motorsports, and he agreed to stick around for a second season, but I think he's got bigger ambitions, and this is a chance for him to start working his way back up the ladder.
Yeah, I think this is exactly. I mean, we've seen and we've known that he has the talent to run Xfinity. Just imagine, and I really hope that Ty Gibbs ends up staying another year. Just imagine the team consistent of Ty Gibbs and John Hunter Nemechek, along with whatever Cup Series or fill-in like Trevor Bayne, all in their stable for next season. That would be an amazing lineup, and I'm sure it would bring a lot more viewers to the Xfinity Series. I know I will watch it. So it'll be interesting to see how he runs in comparison to Ty Gibbs at these 3 races, trying to give him a benchmark. But yeah, working his way back up the ladder. Moving right along, the Atlanta ratings. So the Atlanta TV ratings were up actually compared to last season. Fox earned a rating of 2.36 with around 4 million viewers. Last season, it was around a 2.3 rating with around 3.8. So similar ratings, but quite a few thousand more viewers this season. What do you guys make of this, Tom?
I think to some degree it's something new. People wanted to tune in to see what it was like. I don't know that you can read too much into their ratings that necessarily meant that everybody who tuned in liked it. But I think it was the fact that it was something new because this was a complete redo of the Atlanta track, which is kind of, it's the Southeast, it's the core of the NASCAR market. So when there's something new there, I think that's going to be big news across the whole NASCAR demographic. So I think they tuned in because it was new. I don't know that I would read into it that everybody was happy about it.
Something quick to add, just so you know, it had probably the highest attendance for an Atlanta race in quite a few years. I want to say maybe 10 years, decade. So, any thoughts on that or same?
I'm surprised that it had a higher attendance than the last race on the old configuration because I think a lot of people really wanted to see it.
It did. A couple people who actually went there said that it was probably worse than Nashville as part of as far as like getting things ready, and lots of issues as far as like parking and all that kind of stuff because there were so many more people and they repaired the track, but the amenities were the same, and they were definitely outdated and not enough. So yeah, that was definitely an issue. What are your thoughts on this, Aaron?
I would say that's not good. I mean, considering that Atlanta has spent probably millions of dollars into this reconfiguration of Atlanta, basically, in my opinion, surrendering the history that it had with with that traditional 1.5 mile racing to be a super speedway, and you didn't get that. You didn't get like a whole lot more viewers than freaking Phoenix did. Last week. That's not good. I kind of expected this to be like maybe like a three rating. I mean, definitely not as high as Daytona, but I kind of thought it would have done a lot better than it did, considering all the marketing for it and all the advertising for it to say, hey, this is the brand new Atlanta. This is the Atlanta of the future, and it barely beat out Phoenix last week in terms of ratings.
Yeah.
So this is a definite red flag for this configuration, I think.
I mean, I look at this and I say, okay, new race configuration. They did a lot of marketing on this, and they got a lot more fans that attended it. But if your amenities are not up to the standards of other NASCAR tracks, you're going to lose those fans in a heartbeat. There were concession stands that were sold out, toilets that were overflowing. If you don't fix those issues, then you're going to lose those fans. They're not going to want to stay. The whole part of it is the fan experience. The race is one thing, but fan experience is a whole nother deal. And the ratings, they weren't special at all, especially for a new race configuration. Everything, I was driving down from a bachelor's party last weekend, saw a whole bunch of advertisements in South Carolina for the race in Atlanta. So clearly they were spending money, especially Quick Trip. They were spending money on this, and they got the fans, but they lacked in other areas. So definitely concerning and definitely an issue going forward, but we'll see. And then moving right along, the last little bit of news that we have is actually pretty big here. Hendrick is set to team up with Chevy and NASCAR to run Le Mans in 2023 for the Le Mans 24-hour race. They're going to be under Garage 56. And what that means is that's just a special initiative for pioneering projects for the Le Mans. So they have one every single year. And this is one of them that they're going to try in 2023. So definitely huge news. Aaron, what are your thoughts on this?
I think this is a really big step for NASCAR. Because the last time they did this, I think was like back in in 1976. I'm reading the article right now, and I think this kind of really goes to show, or really, hopefully, will put the rumors to rest that NASCAR is not slowly turning into IMSA. I mean, I think this is going to kind of really, hopefully, put NASCAR back on the map. Hopefully, they will do well next year and all that, but especially with Czech now at the helm, you know that car is going to be barely legal. You know that car is going to just skate by with it on the by the skin of its teeth. You know that car is going to like skin through tech inspection. So with that said, I think NASCAR is going to do very well there. I mean, especially if they bring in like a road course ringer like I don't know, Chase Elliott or Kyle Larson maybe to drive the car, possibly. Who knows? Tom, what do you think?
I don't know much about the Le Mans racing, so I'm not real well versed on this. I'm just going to kind of paint in very broad strokes here. I think it has a chance of maybe expanding the NASCAR market internationally, actually, which could be a good thing. I think that how about Rick Hendrick at 81 years old, still like being flexible and trying new things? I am impressed that he's not so stuck in his ways. He's let his drivers start doing things outside of NASCAR, running on dirt like Kyle Larson and Chase Elliott are doing. He's entering into a whole different realm of Le Mans. I'm proud of him for not getting stuck in his ways as an 81-year-old man or however old he is, and just branching out and trying new things. So I applaud him for it. But I hope it's good for NASCAR. I hope it expands the fan base.
Yeah, I think this is probably one of the most interesting things that we could ever think of. I think if you look at it and you ask NASCAR, even NASCAR drivers a couple years ago, if they would ever see NASCAR come to Le Mans, you would say not no, but hell no. So this is definitely something pretty interesting. I love it. I love the sport, not only the sport, but the teams trying something new. So obviously Garage 56, if some people don't know, it started in 2012, and it's basically a proving ground for experimental and creative technology for the Le Mans series. So it doesn't pay points for the series. It's just a free run, and they do it for like an innovative, sustainable fuel, electric, that kind of stuff. So one of the things that actually let slip in this interview here, the track manager kind of let it slip that it potentially could be a hybrid engine. He said hybrid several times. I'm not going to go ahead and confirm that it's going to be a hybrid engine in the Chevy Camaro that they're going to use. It's definitely going to be a lot different than a normal NASCAR car engine. But I think there might be a hint at hybrid technology, which some people said is the direction the sport is going to go with this new era of car in the next couple of years. So maybe this will be a testing ground for that. Who knows? But definitely interesting. Excited to see how they do. I think their goal is just to finish the race. These Garage 56 teams over the past couple of years, they really haven't been able to finish a race. If the NASCAR car can finish the 24-hour race, I think that is a true testament to the new car and the ability of Hendrick to be able to put it together. So I'm excited, and I'll definitely be rooting for him. But yeah, that's the news this week.
All right. We are up to who's hot, who's not. Let's just go in the order it's written on the agenda here. Aaron, we'll start with you. Who you got for who's hot and who's not?
All right. So for my who's hot this week, I got to go Kurt Busch. I got to go with the older Busher brother here. So far this season, he's got 2 top 5s, 3 top 10s. May not have led a whole lot of laps this season, but he's a guy you definitely need to keep your eye on throughout this season, because he could be a championship sleeper, possibly. Right now he's definitely in playoff form, but championship sleeper, possibly. But who's not this week? Harrison Burton, Tyler Reddick, take your pick, because those guys cannot catch a break this season, it seems like. Harrison Burton always getting into a wreck. Tyler Reddick finding a way to get into a wreck. But so far, those guys, they've got a lot of work to do in order to make themselves eligible for the playoffs. And right now, about 5 weeks in, not looking too good for those drivers. So that is my who's hot, who's not this week.
Yes. So my who's hot is going to be.
Okay, hold on just a second, Zach. Correct me if I'm wrong here, okay? But I think I saw this. Harrison Burton has 54 points right now. David Reagan is 2 spots behind him in the standings with 48 points, and I think he's only ran 3 races.
Two.
Yeah.
He's only ran 2 races, and he's 6 points behind Harrison Burton.
Oh, and by the way, I think David Reagan has like what 2 top 20s already.
Yeah.
Full reporter racing. So
he has 1 top 10, for sure. But yeah, it's definitely concerning when you got that going on. Cody Ware, he's 1 point off of Cody Ware, who's been involved in numerous wrecks this season. So definitely a cause for concern.
Yikes.
All right, sorry, Zach. Go ahead. I cut you off.
Yeah, no worries. So my who's hot is going to be William Byron. He led a crap ton of laps this past weekend, and honestly, he's been in almost every single race this season, just on speed. Honestly, in the races that he has not done well at, he's DNF. So right now he's 2 top 5s and 2 top 10s with a win, and 2 DNFs, and the amount of races that we've had so far. And I think that just goes to the testament of how well that he has progressed in the Cup Series the past couple of years. He's really, really hot this season, especially winning. This is probably his most dominant win that he's had in his career. So leading as many laps as he did, he got all the stages. So definitely moving in the right direction for him. So he's definitely hot right now. And as far as who's not, I would say Christopher Bell / Denny Hamlin. They're both doing absolutely awful, god awful. Christopher Bell was in line for a second place finish this past weekend, breaking the streak of this terrible string of DNFs and poor finishes this past couple weeks. And he gets caught out for a yellow line rule and ends up finishing 23rd. Not a great look for him right now. He's 30th in points. So not much better than Harrison Burton.
Nope.
He is right now he's 4 points shy. No, I'm sorry, almost 10 points shy of being in 31st to BJ McLeod, despite having a top 10 on the season, top 5 on the season. So definitely not a great look for him. Definitely doing pretty poorly, not finishing well. He seems to be well into races, competing for wins, but just not being able to finish at all, and just getting caught up in bad luck. And the same thing goes for Denny Hamlin. I mean, when you look at it, Auto Club, that was his fault. Las Vegas, excuse me. That was his fault, downshifting into reverse and breaking the gearbox. But he's also been caught up in his fair share of bad luck. When you look at it, he's in 26th. We're 5 races in. He's well out of the playoffs. And I mean, although he has 3 top 10s, he's not really competing for wins. So he might have to point his way in. And if it's looking like right now, we got 5 different winners on the season. And there's probably not going to be a lot of room for him. So hopefully he can get it together and brush off the mistakes. And each week, I think the commentator's like, all right, this is the week that he's going to do good. And yet again, something happens to him and he ends up not finishing well. So we'll see what happens to him over the course of the season. He's definitely in a bad slump. But those are my who's hot, who's not for this week.
Yeah, Denny Hamlin 26th in points, Christopher Bell 30th. Okay, Denny Hamlin, he is having Kyle Busch's 2020. I remember Kyle Busch doing an interview saying it's still 2020, isn't it? Well, Denny Hamlin is having Kyle Busch's 2020, I think.
And I think Toyotas as a whole have not been doing well, honestly. They haven't had the speed at all.
Not particularly.
Well, and
So
their luck hasn't helped them out either.
that as
Yeah,
well.
so.
It just doesn't seem as they're up front contending for wins as often as they used to. So that's definitely something to watch later in the season.
All right, my who's hot, who's not. I am going for who's hot. I am going with Ross Chastain. 3 podium finishes in a row for Trackhouse Racing from Ross Chastain. I think it's 4 if you count Daniel Suarez, wherever we were the 4 races ago. I can't remember. Trackhouse is doing good, but really it's Ross Chastain carrying the banner. There for a while, I thought we were going to see Suarez and Chastain, one or the other, being top 5 every week. It looks like Chastain is the hotter driver right now. But how about this? I mean, that is amazing. That is a great story, I think. I'm glad to see Ross Chastain doing well. We kind of were all curious what was going to happen when they bought out Chip Ganassi last year. Looks like they're making the most of it. But three podiums in a row for Ross Chastain. For who's not, Bubba Wallace.
Yeah.
I know going into the last lap he was up there and then got shuffled back, but results are results, and not just this week, but if you look at Bubba Wallace, especially compared to his teammate Kurt Busch running in similar equipment, Kurt Busch has finished a minimum of 10 spots ahead of Bubba in every race this year. I said at the beginning of the year this is going to be a telltale season for Bubba, because we were going to know if the equipment was holding him back or if the equipment was good and he just wasn't performing. Right now, Kurt Busch is in similar equipment and he is performing, and Bubba at least 10 spots back from his teammate every race. Not great look for Bubba. So that is who I've got for who is not.
Yeah. All right. And with that, we move on to green flag or red flag. I believe we got 1, 2, 3, 4, about 5 statements and questions we've got for you guys today. So guys, as the guys in chat, please go ahead and comment green flag if you agree with our statements and questions, or red flag if you disagree. And with that said, here we go. Green flag, red flag, number 1 of the night. Atlanta was a massive success. You can interpret that however you want to. Just overall, was it a successful race weekend? Zach, we'll start with you first.
Red flag. You see the attendance went up. Obviously, it went up. The viewership went up a little bit, but overall, as a fan, I'm gonna say red flag. I think you got closer racing, but man, Atlanta was one of my favorite tracks. I remember watching as early as 2005, watching Carl Edwards go around Jimmy Johnson for his first career win. Just being able to use both lanes and using all that, man, it's annoying to see that turn into another plate track, which I don't think we needed. But it was definitely turning a plate track into a mile and a half into a plate track was a cool idea, but in concept, but not. You keep it in the drafts, as they say on Twitter. You keep that stuff in the drafts.
Tom, what say you?
I'm going to say red flag. To me, it was very polarizing. You had just as many people loving it as hating it. And for it to be a massive success, you got to have more than 50% of the people loving it. And to me, it was just very, very polarizing. You either loved it or hated it. And when 50% of the people hate it, I can't call it a massive success. So I'm saying red flag.
Yeah, with that, I will agree with you guys here. I'm gonna go red flag. I mean, just by the attendance ratings, the reviews that I saw from people who are at the track, especially with the guy that I see on YouTube all the time, named Slap Shoes. He's an excellent NASCAR YouTube content creator. I'm calling him the NASCAR historian because I watch a lot of his stuff for like older history bits of NASCAR, and he had like really no good things to say about the fan interaction at Atlanta, and that along with the TV ratings I thought were supposed to be higher than what they were, but they were pretty much on par with Phoenix from last week. That is a massive, massive red flag that I think the money they dumped into the track was very, very wasted. And so with that, I'm going complete red flag. In fact, I'll go crimson flag for that. This is not a good move by Atlanta. And so with that, we will move on to green flag, red flag number 2 of the night. I'm saying Mike Cora with green, Jacob with flag, with flag. Yes, with flag. I'm smart. Jacob with a red flag, Adam Lauer with a red flag, and Adam, I thought that was boring as all hell. Yeah, I completely agree with you, Adam. Completely agree. I was not invested in the race whatsoever. And all right, number 2 of the night. Green flag, red flag. This is back from when we thought we were going to go live last week, but at Phoenix. But you know what? But since we didn't, I decided to keep it in here. The performance of Stewart-Haas Racing at Phoenix and Atlanta now puts them on the same level as Hendrick, Gibbs, and Penske as a top-tier team. Green flag or red flag? Tom, we'll start with you first.
I'm going to say red flag. I think they're getting there, but I don't think they're back yet. And right now, we had 5 races. 3 of them been won by Hendrick. I don't know that anybody is on the level of Hendrick right now. So I'm going to say red flag again, just because I don't think they're quite top tier, and I don't think anybody's on par with Hendrick.
Right,
Yeah,
Zach, let's see.
I'm going to say red flag as well. I just think that, look, Phoenix and plate tracks, Phoenix specifically, short tracks, they had great success on. Even when you look at last year, they did have pretty good success. Harvick ended up finishing in the top 10. Win, to me, there makes sense if you're with a new car that's more equal, especially with the kind of setups that they brought years previously. And then you got a plate track, which is a crapshoot. So I would say that these 2 tracks aren't really an accurate representation of speed at this moment. But I definitely think they're headed in the right direction. I think the new car has helped. And we have to see over a course of maybe 10 races, not just 5.
Yeah, I will kind of agree with both of you there. I want to say red flag. They're not there yet, but they're definitely better than where they were last year. Last year, it seemed like they had nothing going for them. Not a grain of luck, not an ounce of speed in those cars. But already we saw, Stewart-Haas getting their first win, which hey, a massive improvement from them actually getting a win, before halfway in the season, which is a massive improvement. You see, kind of Chase Briscoe actually kind of showing his talent for once, which is a nice thing. But I don't think they're on par with Hendrick, Gibbs, or even Penske yet. So that's a red flag for me. But they are getting there. They are kind of getting back to that form.
Yep, definitely more competitive than they were last year at this time.
Absolutely. Honestly, I agree with Mike Hora's comment here. Red flag, but yeah, red flag. Give it a few more months, then come back to this. I agree. We'll see where they're at in a few months, where we've had like a good amount of races where we can dissect and overreact from. All right, number 3 of the night. The emergence of Trackhouse Racing has been the biggest surprise of the NASCAR season so far. Again, it's one of those ones where we could have had last week, but the YouTube shut us down real quickly. But we're bringing it back. So, Zach, what say you? Trackhouse Racing has been the biggest surprise so far this season.
Man, yeah, I get. As far as like teams, yeah, but I guess it's NASCAR on a whole. I would say green flag. I think, the new car and as well as Trackhouse are pretty even as far as how well both have done this season. So that would be the only one that I would put over it. But I think Trackhouse has been surprisingly, pretty shockingly good when you consider the other new teams that have come in. I mean, none quite like the funding that Trackhouse does have. But when you look last year in the results and to this year in the results, I think I think it's definitely a big surprise. Like Tom said earlier in the podcast, he's finished second and third 3 out of the last 5 races. So definitely a big surprise. I didn't expect to see Ross up there so much. And Daniel Suarez seems to find a way to finish with great runs at the end of the day. So yeah, I would say that's probably one of the biggest surprises.
Okay. Oh, and Adam, just to reiterate the question, it is the emergence of Trackhouse Racing has been the biggest surprise of the NASCAR season so far. That is the question that we are trying to answer. Tom, what say you?
You know, I am agreeing with Zach, not just on the red flag, green flag, which never happens, but I'm also agreeing with him on like the logic. I think it is green flag, and I think it is the biggest surprise, but it wins biggest surprise by that much over the new car. The new car has really impressed me too with how durable it is, how much it's put racing back in the hands of the driver. So yeah, I think Trackhouse is the biggest surprise, but it barely beats out the new car.
Honestly, I did put down red flag right now, but I think you guys have convinced me to join the green side. I'm going to go green for this one.
We're all on the same team. Group hug. Group hug.
Hey,
3 for 3 so far.
Oh wow, we are 3 for 3.
Better keep it going.
Just wait. We're halfway through. But yeah, I mean, honestly, Zach, I'm agree with you there too. I mean, I think the car has been great to them in terms of each driver's racing ability and in terms of just being able to kind of be up front and have more parity to it.
Mike's comment.
I will definitely agree with him.
Put up Mike's comment, Tom. 100%. I saw the video. I saw it live, and then I saw a replay of it and how high it got up. And then he ended up finishing a top 10. I was like, you got to be kidding me. Yeah. And there is something to be said about the independent rear suspension. And I think that's part of the reason why we it's not as durable. And it probably didn't win as far as the biggest surprise, just because when you hit the wall, chances are you're going to break the suspension. But definitely, this car is so much more durable, and it's so good to see people, spinning out because of things that may have not been out in their control and being able to finish high. So,
oh yeah. All right, green flag, red flag, number 4 of the night. This one we may have talked about it before, but I kind of want to bring this back again. Suspending crew chiefs and tire changers for 4 races as a result of a loose wheel on pit road is too strict and excessive for this type of violation. Green flag or red flag? Tom, will go with you first.
I'm going to say green flag. I think it's too excessive, especially because you can only check it at the end of the race. So you don't know how many pit stops there were with loose lug nuts. I understand we're trying to make the sport safer, but I just think that's awfully excessive, especially when you're suspending the crew chief, who is setting up on a pit box and has nothing to do with the guy down there changing the tire. So I definitely think it's excessive.
So I'm gonna say green flag as well. When you think about it, we don't have 5 lug nuts anymore. It's a single lug. If you get that loose and it's coming off, your day is pretty much done. So the incentive for these teams is to get it tight the first time. They're not gaining anything by leaving it loose, because chances are it's gonna end their day. So I think suspending them for 4 races is not right. It's really not right at all. And then when you think about it, there have been constant issues all season long, and it's only been 5 races in, with the wheel, with the hub, with the lug nut. It's a giant, literally everything with that. Even you can even count the suspension in it as well. The entire thing. And I think I saw something during the race where actually Tyler Reddick was taking off a tire and the brake rotor exploded as well. So, they're having issues within the entire system. And I don't think it's fair to blame the crew chiefs, especially when there's literally no incentive to have a loose wheel at all. So,
yeah, I'm also going green flag. I mean, I guess suspending. Well, I'm going green for maybe about half of it. I agree suspending the crew chief and tire changers. I agree with that. But for 4 races, yeah, I don't know. I think that's a little bit too excessive. But yeah, I'm going green flag for all of it. Again, I'm going back and forth with this. But for right now, I'm going green flag.
Okay, how about it took Adam Lauer to point out that we are called the loose lug nuts and we're talking about loose lug nuts? How did the 3 of us all miss that reference?
I did. I got it.
I was waiting for someone to point that out.
Oh, I was clueless until Adam wrote it. I was the only clueless one. Sorry.
I wasn't going to be that cheesy.
Yeah. And for our last green flag, red flag of the night, which is probably the most controversial we're probably getting, and this is where I think our run's going to end. The statement is, Marcus Smith, president and CEO of Speedway Motorsports, said this past Sunday that, quote, "This is a sports entertainment business, and we served up a really entertaining weekend of racing here," end quote. Is NASCAR becoming more entertainment than sport? Zach, what say you?
So I'm sorry to break it and not go 4 for 4, but I gotta say red flag. They're not. Should they be? Absolutely yes. When you think of everything that Formula One has done with the Drive to Survive for Netflix, and what IndyCar is doing with having concerts playing before and after and during the race, several headliners as well. It is becoming an entertainment sport, but NASCAR is nowhere near close. They don't have the infrastructure. They don't have the innovation that they should have. F1 has grown by tens of millions of viewers in the U.S. alone, just by Drive to Survive, which is just an inside look at F1 and a dramatization of F1. And they have active viewers and actually plenty of U.S. sponsors now sponsoring Formula One, which is an international event. Should it be more entertainment? Yes. I don't know if it should be more entertainment than sport, but yes, you should be marketing more. I mean, they are. What is the best way to entertain sponsors? It would be making the races more entertaining. And I don't think that necessarily this is the right way that they did it as far as Atlanta goes, but creating something for fans to more engage with the race day itself, and as well as with the sport itself, is a definite plus, and we see it with other sports. So I think this is a red flag, but I definitely think they should be heading. They should be focusing on entertainment as well.
Okay. Tom, what about you?
I'm going to say red flag because I'm reading it the way it was written. Is NASCAR becoming more entertainment than sport? No, they're more sport than entertainment, but they are definitely shifting the balance more. We saw the concerts that they had before the race to Coliseum. I think they redesigned Atlanta really to try to bring more entertainment to it by making it more like a plate race. They're talking about having concerts at more of the races. I don't know if it was Texas where they were talking about having Blake Shelton there. I may have the track wrong. They're definitely amping up the entertainment value, but I think it's still more sport than entertainment. So I'll say red flag because it is becoming more entertainment, but it's still more sport.
Yeah, and I want to say red flag. I really do, because I think fans are showing up to the racetrack to see a race, not to see, kind of this racing celebrity see him do well or or coming to see this team or to see this brand on the race car, they are still showing up to watch a race. But I mean, even to the most casual viewer, you gotta think that NASCAR is shifting more towards the entertainment sector than sports. And I think Atlanta is just another exhibit to that claim. Because I mean, it's Atlanta Motor Speedway. It's one of the most historic tracks on the NASCAR schedule, like Daytona and like Bristol. It is historic. You know, at that track, we have one of the greatest racing, championship battles of all time in 1992. I'm not sure if you heard that year or not, because Atlanta loves to be proud of that year. And they do that to it. I'm going to say possibly green flag. I mean, if you were to take a look at NASCAR from a decade ago, even 2 decades ago, and compare that to now, it just feels like it's not the same sport anymore. To me, it's not. I mean, I still love to watch NASCAR. Don't get me wrong. I still love to watch it, but it's definitely not the NASCAR that I grew up watching and what really made me a fan of NASCAR. I mean, I didn't care about Blake Jones running the track. I didn't care about Atlanta just reconfiguring a track to make it a super speedway. I watched it because I saw great racing. I watched it because just great racing and just to learn more about the sport. That's what I grew up on. And plus all the shiny cars, going fast around the track. That's what I grew up watching. But it seems like now it's just bland and more entertainment than sport nowadays. But I'm going to say green flag, but barely, like a 55-45 ratio.
Okay. All right, that is the end of green flag, red flag. We are now up to the COTA preview. So they are going back to Circuit of the Americas this week, and I'm going to say the good news. I'm going to focus on the view in preview. The good news is I pulled out my phone. I looked at the forecast for Austin, Texas. It is supposed to be on Sunday, like an 86 degrees and like a 3% chance of rain or something. So we will actually be able to see the cars this year at COTA as opposed to just seeing water everywhere. So my preview of COTA is tune in. They're actually going to run on a dry surface.
This is the first official race at the COTA. Last year didn't count. It was we're avoiding that year.
Last year, yes. I think a Bass Tracker boat actually won the race.
I'm sorry?
I said I think a Bass Tracker boat won the race last year.
No, the Bass Tracker boat got absolutely rear-ended. Yes, I mean, I still think of that wreck. I'm thinking, how the hell did Martin Truex actually survive that wreck?
Yeah,
that was bad.
That was vicious to look at.
Yes, it was.
Yeah.
But that also raises the question. This is the first year that we're seeing the next gen car at a road course. And from what I've read, I think from last year, that this car was supposed to kind of like really perform much better at road courses than the previous car. So let's see if this will work.
Yeah. We'll see how it works. I think the new next gen car was kind of tailored more towards both being a oval car as well as road course, being a little bit easier on road courses as well. You got the sequential shifter now, so we'll see if that gets anybody as far as doing what Denny Hamlin did. Hopefully not, but I'm excited for it. First road course of the season. I'm interested to see how it works. I think we have a different winner than the first three. So, and I don't know if I could say can I say my pick now?
Sure.
Go ahead.
I think I'm going with an underdog, someone who doesn't necessarily do well at road courses, and I think the team is currently struggling right now. I'm going to go with Chase Elliott, and Hendrick Motorsports gets the win. Haha.
Really going out on a limb there, Zach.
I am.
Yeah, going on a
Yeah.
major limb there, bud.
Yeah, he has an average finish of like 2.5 at all the road courses last season, and well, except for where he was wrecked out in Charlotte Roval. But yeah, to say he's a favorite is seriously understatement. But I'm going with him, and he is a different winner, so
Yeah.
it would qualify. But yeah, I'm going with Chase Elliott.
I'm not picking. I don't know who I want to pick as a winner. I think Chase Elliott's a good one, but I just think this is going to be interesting. I am more interested to know because I completely forgot about the sequential shifter at a road course. This is the first place they've had to shift gears. I'm saying the over/under on people who wreck their transmission by going the wrong way. I'm going to say 3.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I'm going to say 3 is the over/under.
Well,
I mean, they could just call local cautions like normal, but you know.
nah, this is NASCAR. I don't know if I want to make my pick or not because I'm fearful that I may jinx this person, and right now he doesn't really need to be jinxed.
McDowell, what?
Dow.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh, and Adam, I am not picking Briscoe. So no.
Who are you picking? Tell us.
I want to pick Ross Chastain so bad. Because
I
right
don't
now
even know.
he's been on fire the last few weeks, and last time we were there, he finished 4th.
I did not know that.
Hey, he's been doing pretty well.
I don't want to jinx him though.
I'd have to
I mean,
go
hell,
with
I probably
Chase
already
Elliott
did.
if I was picking somebody just because it's a road course. So,
Well, yeah, because you're going on that twig of a brand, on that twig
Yeah.
of a limb.
Hey, there's a reason he's the favorite.
Yeah, there's a reason he's a favorite, but not really like a major pick. I mean, hell, like at least pick Reddick or something. I mean, damn.
So,
But,
all right.
yeah, I mean, either Chastain or Reddick is my pick.
Okay. All right. It is time for our closing comments. Anybody want to volunteer to go first?
I do not want to go first.
Zach, you go first, buddy.
No.
All
I
right.
do not.
I'll go first. My closing comment is if nobody knows it yet, or if you haven't figured out yet, Zach is getting married this weekend. So my closing comment is that I want to wish Zach and Haley a wonderful wedding and a very happy life together. I hope you guys have many years of happiness together. I am so happy for you. I'm sure to some degree it's going to be the greatest day of your life, but you're also going to be glad that it's finally here and over with after everything that's gone into it. But my closing comment is just that I want to wish you and Haley well.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Absolutely, man. And also,
what time is the wedding Saturday?
Like around 5:00.
Zach, you're the groom. You don't know? Around 5:00?
Well,
that's kind of an important piece of information that you should have.
5.
I thought weddings were supposed to always be on the half hour.
Are they?
That's how they're doing it. I don't know.
Okay.
Okay. Well, also, where's our invites, buddy?
I'm gonna give you a piece of advice, Zach. Figure out the time of the wedding before Saturday. All right.
Thank you. I don't know.
That's my first piece of marital advice for you.
I think I might just
around 5:00. I would like to reiterate that I said at the beginning that Haley might want to rethink her choice. Picks like maybe picking somebody who knows what time the wedding is.
Yeah, it might be a very important thing to having a husband.
Look, I'm gonna show up late to my own wedding. It's just it's in the books.
Zach, as many times as I have waited on you for things, I would not be surprised at all.
I'm gonna be late to my own funeral. It's just.
I will not be surprised. But
Mike,
Anyway.
congratulations.
I mean, yeah.
Well, let me rephrase that. I hope she says yes.
It's still in the cards here.
Yeah, you're just proposing.
That's why I'm so nervous still.
Oh, by the way, surprise.
Yeah.
But anyway, I guess for my closing comments is that I've got a job interview tomorrow, and I'm both happy and sad about it because the place I work at now, the managers have been really good to me over the last few years. They're giving me time off when I absolutely need to. When I kind of mess up and like really mess up on something, they're usually very forgiving. Said, you know what, dude, it happens. Just move on. And so I'm kind of built up almost like a second family over that little place. And so I hope it goes well because I could really use the extra money. But it's gonna be hard to leave. It's gonna be very hard to leave that kind of place. And so.
Well, I hope
very
it works out
it.
for the best, whatever that is. Yeah. Zach, here's something to make you feel better about your around 5 o'clock comment.
Hey, mine's on a Saturday too. I know that. I know when you
get
get there.
Apparently, Adam wasn't even sure what day his was. It was around Saturday.
I'm getting there at 12 to get ready.
Okay.
So I know that. Yes.
Yeah, Jacob. We only had my chat only says 4 people watching, so I think you're all right. I think you're safe, Mike.
I mean, mine says 4, but hey, I'll take 5.
Yeah, we'll take 5.
Take 5.
Okay. All right, Zach, it's your turn.
All right. Well, besides the obvious, I am getting married. This will be the last show that you'll see me at not being a, well, I would say single, but that's not really the right term. Unwed man. So besides that, I'm going to keep it more NASCAR related. It's going to be Boris Said's 4th decade in NASCAR when he races at COTA this weekend. 4th decade. All I can say is wow. I hope he gets a top 20. I hope he actually qualifies in. I don't know.
I hope he wins.
I don't. Well,
can you imagine all the Said heads coming out with their freaking huge afros and just celebrating with the man himself?
Look, that would be awesome.
That would be
awesome. But let's be realistic. Top 20 is a win for the 66 MBM motorsports car. But
yeah, that's true.
Maybe a top 15. I don't know. But anyway, it would be interesting to see how he does. And I'm glad to still see him hanging around. Now, that is my white flag comment.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you guys all for tuning in. Glad we are back on the air. Sorry about last week, but I was busy paying my debt to YouTube by being in jail for a few days. But I got paroled early, or I don't know if it was paroled early, but I got paroled and I'm back. I made bail. We are here. We are on our best behavior. But I thank you guys for tuning in. Hope you guys enjoy the race at COTA this weekend. I hope Aaron gets his job. I hope Zach gets married. And we will tell you guys all how it goes next week. So next week, we're going to lead off with Zach's wedding and Aaron's interviews, because I'm sure everybody's going to want to know that. That's what we'll lead with next week.
Leaving us hanging.
Yeah, this is like the cliffhanger at the end.
Adam, you better be coming to the wedding, because Lord knows I'm going to leave Haley at the altar for you. Wink.
Yeah, well, Zach, speaking of which, where's our invites, man?
Yeah.
Where's ours?
Look,
I'm
Haley
guessing
wanted
it got
to keep
lost in the mail or something.
Yeah, Zach had to listen to my own, didn't it?
We invited everyone besides you two. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh,
we kept
I see how it is, man.
We kept it a little bit more intimate. So it'll be on Facebook Live for you guys, maybe. I don't know. We'll see.
Gee, thanks.
But why Facebook Live when we could be there in person?
Huh?
Look,
that is something to take up
bro.
with Haley on, not me. I told her all I wanted to invite, and then I got to a point where she just stopped listening to me. So,
well, look, get Haley on right now, and we'll ask her.
Haley, why aren't Tom and Aaron invited to the wedding? Did you hear that?
No, I didn't.
She said you can book your plane tickets.
Oh,
We can crash we can be wedding crashers, Aaron.
Yeah,
hell yeah!
there you go.
I'll show up in like a freaking tuxedo T-shirt and like torn off jeans, blasting Aerosmith.
Yeah.
Look, this is redneck, so yes, that'll work. You'll fit
Oh,
right
cool. Well, fine. I'll fit right in.
in. Yeah.
Hell yeah!
I got $20 that says Haley's second husband is Carson Hocevar.
Look. That happens, I'm gonna be actually. We're gonna switch places, me and Carson. I'll be racing.
You'll be racing. He'll be married to Haley.
I won't complain.
Oh,
Oh,
that's on YouTube forever.
I'm just kidding. I'm joking.
Uh-huh.
Actually, Haley doesn't.
Okay, all right. I think that
There's
is a
up to a
good
good
one
start.
to end the broadcast on before Zach gets himself in any more trouble.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Thank y'all for tuning in.
Thank you,
We will
guys.
see you all next week, and we will update you on all things related to interviews and weddings.
Yeah, the wedding's called off, so.
Gee, I wonder why. All right. See you guys. Take care, bud.